morning. Good morning folks, happy Vlogmas day 3. It's going quickly, I can't believe it's day 3 already. I feel like I just started. Anyway, you know the drill. I've got my coffee and my breakfast and I'm going to upload yesterday's vlog. I'm joined by my usual breakfast companion. Oh. He always follows me upstairs when I'm having breakfast just to watch me eat, for the very slight potential that he may get some food. Hey friends, so I thought I would just take a little break from doing my jigsaw for a minute. I'm in the process of finding all the outside edges, but I thought I'd just take a minute to have a little chat with you about being in the process of autistic burnout and what that looks like for me, and having ADHD as well, and just life at the moment, because I'm aware that I've mentioned a couple of times in Vlogmas already being in autistic burnout and that type of stuff. So, if you don't know what autistic burnout is, it the name doesn't really do it justice, because when we think of burnout we think of just being tired from working too much or something like that, but autistic burnout has also been referred to as stress-induced neurological decline, And so everything about the way that my brain works and the way that my nervous system responds is in a state of decline right now, basically. I fully properly went into burnout in October. I would say like between the beginning and the middle of October. So it's been 2 months now. It feels like so much longer. And through a lot of reflection and help from an autism coach, I have figured out that there are a few different things that sent me into burnout. The biggest thing just being that I was trying to operate for years of my life as an autistic person at a level at which was not my capacity at all. From watching content about this on social media and like talking to other autistic folks about it, that seems to be a really common way that autistic people end up getting into burnout, because we're constantly comparing ourselves to our neurotypical peers, and yeah, we just try and do things the way that everybody else does them, thinking that we can when actually we can't, and our capacity is different, and every autistic person's capacity is different anyway. But there's so little research about autism in general that we're not able as autistic individuals to learn about what our capacity actually is like, and the way that our neurological differences affect us, and the indicators that our body gives us as to when we've hit our limit or whatever it might be. We just don't get to learn about these things, and so we end up going into burnout and then having to learn about these things. So for me, it's really been a huge learning experience to understand more and more the specific things that affect me in terms of my environment, situations, sensory input. I also feel like you would probably not watch these vlogs and think, oh, that person's disabled. But right now, really truly, my disability is disabling me. And I must say too, I'm incredibly grateful, because 2 months in, I'm at a point where I am so much better, I'm so much more well than I was 2 months ago. I definitely would not have been able to do Vlogmas 2 months ago. It would have been way too much for me. And my thought process in wanting to participate in Vlogmas was because I was really feeling like my lack of being able to participate in the creative things that fuel me was starting to affect my mental health, and I really felt like it was time for me to delve back into the creative things that actually bring me joy. So that's why I'm able to do this, because it actually fulfills me rather than it being work that takes away from me. So yeah, basically I'm in this recovery process at the moment, which means you'll probably see me entertaining myself on my own in the house quite a lot during Vlogmas, because it takes so much energy and so much mental force and pressure for me to get out of the house and do things. Not for me to get out of the house, but the actual act of going somewhere, experiencing a different environment, experiencing different sensory input, different lighting, different smells, lots of people, all of that stuff is quite debilitating to me at the moment. The way that I get around that is that I set myself time limits when I'm going somewhere, so that I know that I'm only going to be there for a certain length of time and then I'm going to come back home again. I also carry multiple different forms of like ear protection. I have 2 different pairs of loops, ear defenders, headphones, sunglasses, even when it's winter, and all those things really help me to control my sensory experience and to kind of limit the input going into my brain, to stop my brain from getting overwhelmed and my nervous system from getting overwhelmed. So anyway, yeah, that's how I get out and about. I'm hoping to get out and about a good few times during Vlogmas. I need to actually, and I am going to be travelling to France on the 20th, so those things are going to be happening. I need to do random things, like I need to go to the library and take books back. I need to return some things, so I need to go to the post office. Random things like that, so you'll be seeing those. And I'm really hoping to meet up with a friend to go for a nice wintry walk around the local lake, so that should be really nice, and we'll probably get coffee and stuff as well. But yeah, all of those things will be very much planned around and prepared for, and there's a lot of energy that goes into that. I do feel like, and I know that this sentiment is shared by other autistic ADHDers, having autism and ADHD at the same time is like an everyday balancing act, because my autistic neurology gets easily overwhelmed, but my ADHD neurology needs stimulus. So it's an everyday kind of weighing up the decisions of what I participate in to kind of balance what's going on in my body. And I'm learning more about that every single day, which is cool and I'm really grateful for. I actually feel grateful for having gone into burnout, because I know that I needed this recovery process time. I needed the time to learn how I best rest, because rest isn't just lying in bed not doing anything. There's actually 7 types of rest. I'm not going to remember them off the top of my head to be able to reel them off to you now, but there's 7 different types of rest. Definitely Google it if you're intrigued, because it's so interesting, and we actually need all of those 7 different types. So yeah, feel free to do some Googling about that if you're interested. So yeah, I really needed this time to be able to understand what my needs actually are. And at the same time, don't get me wrong, it has been an incredibly challenging period of time, and I have had to grieve my old self, and I have had to grieve this Max that existed before burnout, who was able to keep going and keep pushing down the burnout and keep pushing away the burnout and keep doing and had more capacity than I have now. And that's not to say that that capacity won't gradually expand and my tolerance for input won't gradually expand, but I also have to accept the version of myself that I am right now. And that's been upsetting at times and painful at times. And I know that that's quite a common autistic experience, to have different stages of life where our capacity is so much less and we're able to tolerate less, we're able to handle less. We experience skill regression, so we lose the capacity to do things that we used to be able to do. All types of stuff like that. So yeah, During Vlogmas this year, you will see lots of gentle, fun, Christmassy activities, nice walks, lots of tea making and coffee making because I love my tea and coffee. Probably a good amount of journaling, maybe some art making, and just, yeah, slow and gentle life of recovering from autistic burnout and really putting intention into enjoying the holiday season. I must say too, this ginger chai, really good. When I was putting the powder from the sachet into my mug, the smell from it, I didn't think I was gonna like it, but it's actually so good and so warming. It's really suited to this time of year, so I'm really glad. I'm gonna go carry on with my jigsaw now. Hey friends, so I just finished sorting the puzzle pieces into edges and the rest. And I kind of didn't feel like carrying on. And this is a good look into what it's like to live with an autistic brain. So I decided that I didn't want to carry on doing the puzzle, but I don't know what I want to do now. So now I'm kind of in this weird transition process of stopping doing one thing and not knowing what I want to do with myself. So I've just sat down in the living room like, I'm just gonna watch a YouTube video that I've been meaning to watch and see if what I want to do now pops into my head. We shall see. There are a few options, but also I'm starting to get a bit of a headache. So I think, something in my eye. It's gone. Is it? Oh, I think I've got an eyelash. I forgot what I was saying now. Oh yeah, so I think maybe that's one of the reasons why I don't want to puzzle anymore, because my eye is focusing on that. It's probably going to make my headache worse. So I'm just going to chill here for a bit and see if I get any kind of inspiration about how I want to spend my afternoon. I got the eyelash. Feels much better. Let's chill. That's a bit too far away. Come closer. I'm watching folks on YouTube talk about queer fantasy books. I felt really inspired a couple of days ago to start reading Sarah J Maas's Throne of Glass series, but I really struggle to read really heteronormative romance books, and I know that the romances in Sarah J Maas's books are mostly hetero, and I just enjoy so much more to read romance books that are representative of like my queerness. So if you have any recommendations of specifically fantasy series that has like a really good amount of queer representation, please let me know, because I am hungry for it. Hey friends, so I've come back upstairs because I'm really starting to not feel so well. This headache is starting to affect my body in general. I do experience headaches on a semi-regular basis, but I also am realising that I have quite a bit of hypermobility pain happening, I think, from lifting furniture yesterday. I do have joint hypermobility syndrome, and I suspect hypermobile Ehlers-Danlos syndrome, but I can often like sleep in a position and just wake up with pain, not because it was a particularly weird position or anything, but because my joints in that position have hyperextended or just sat in one place for too long basically, or sometimes I experience subluxations, which means that my joints kind of semi-dislocate, and that actually did happen at the beginning of lifting the furniture yesterday. My left wrist kind of half popped out of place and popped itself back in, and I had to come and grab a wrist support to be able to carry on doing what I was doing. But anyway, what I'm trying to say is I've just come back upstairs so that I can kind of nest a little bit and just wind down. I'm probably going to take some paracetamol, but yeah, I just need to be chill. This is kind of the frustrating side of being a multiply disabled person, and I still really resist saying that because there's so much that I am able to do, but in honouring myself and my capacity, that is what I am. Like, I am a multiply disabled person, and it's frustrating and difficult to accept these moments in the day sometimes where I have to stop doing what I wanted to do, or I have to change the course of my day because I just can't anymore. And it's hard to accept that sometimes, but I just have to look after myself as best as I can. And so right now that looks like making myself a nice hot coffee and just having some chill time. I still haven't decided what I want to do. I might sit at my desk and do something cozy and crafty, or I might go back to lying on the bed and just reading my book or something. We shall see. I'm also aware that in putting this out on the internet, I'm conscious of feeling the need to say I don't want to seem like I'm complaining all the time. Because I did already film that clip earlier on today about talking about being an autistic ADHDer and what that looks like for me in my life right now. But these really are things that are affecting my daily life currently, so that's just reality. We have to go with the flow. We have to look after ourselves. We have to go slow sometimes. We are not machines. And so, yeah, I mean, also one of the reasons why I want to be making more videos in general is because I want more content to be out there of people who are like me, of people who have disabilities that are misunderstood, or content that helps other people who experience similar things to me feel validated in their experience. So I'm not going to be sorry about it. This is life. So the lighting isn't great right now, but that is because I've had to close my blinds because I can't deal with the bright lights. It's not even that bright, it's so dark outside today because it's just gloomy as heck. And it's also 3:30, so it's kind of getting towards that time of night where the sun starts to set anyway. But even so, I couldn't deal with having the blinds open, so we've got bad lighting, but it's fine. I've also taken my hair out of I had some put up in a hair bubble just up here, and I had to take that out and put a beanie on. If you're a person that experiences headaches or migraines, try putting a beanie on. It is honestly revolutionary. It keeps your head so nice and warm. It really helps me anyway. I've also made myself a classic hot water bottle. I love this cover because it has the colours of the trans pride flag and it's furry, so I really like the texture. I've got my mocha. I have also decided to try out making these origami decorations that I showed you in Vlogmas Day 1. I bought these in Aldi and they were relatively cheap, so I thought they would be nice to do when I feel like doing something slow and crafty. So I'm gonna give those a go, and at the same time I'm gonna watch the Santa Clauses. So this is a series and it is from the Santa Claus with an E franchise. So there are 3 movies and then they made it into a series. The first season came out in 2022, last year, and a second season of it came out this year. I had no idea that this was made into a series, and so when I saw it on Disney Plus, I was like, okay, I'm gonna watch all 3 movies and then I'm gonna start the series. I'm just gonna do it all in chronological order because I used to love the Santa Claus movies, and I ended up getting through the 3 movies and then I started the series last night. I've only watched 1 episode so far, so I'm gonna carry on with that while I make my decorations and just wind down a little bit and just be gentle with myself. I've taken some ibuprofen as well. Let's do some crafts. So when you're done with these squares of paper, following all the instructions of folding all the folds, you get these. So I need to get to the point where I've got 5 of these. Is it 5? Yeah, 5. So that I can make a star. Let's carry on. So I'm now confused because I have my 5 ones of these, but it says that you're meant to put this inside here to make the star shape, and I've tried to do that and I can't figure out how it works, and the instructions are not the best, and I'm getting a bit tired now, so I'm gonna leave it for today and come back to these another day, because I can see how like adding all of these together will eventually make a star, but I can't quite get my head around how. That's where we're at. It's gonna eventually look like that. I'm gonna end the vlog off here for today. Thanks for joining me for Vlogmas Day 3. If you enjoyed, please leave me a thumbs up, it's really helpful, and subscribe if you haven't already, and I'll see you tomorrow. Bye!